funds are spent. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.
Development agency Kagiso Trust is looking to encourage over 27 million registered voters to cast their hard-fought for ballots in the national and provincial elections on May 29. On this mission to promote active citizenry, the Kagiso Trust is invoking the legacy of struggle stalwarts such as Desmond Tutu, Beyers, Naudé and Reverend Frank Chikane in their hashtag Remember Me campaign. And for more on this campaign, we're now joined by Mankone Ntsaba, and she joins us via our video link. Mankone, thank you so much for your time, ma'am, this evening. Perhaps let's start off here. Tell us about this campaign and how it actually came about.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and good evening to yourself and to the listeners. Kagiso Trust is an development agency that was founded in 1985 after discussions between the European Community and the South African of churches, among others. Its founding trustees that you have mentioned earlier, Bishop Desmond Tutu, the anti-apartheid activist Beyers, Naudé and Frank Chikane. As Kagiso Trust, we have noted that although the registration of voters is increasing after each and every election, the number of ballots that are cast is declining increasingly during each and every election. And we noted that there's something that has to happen. Registration does not equate to voting. Therefore, something is not right between registration. There's a disjuncture between registration and voting. We then decided that some intervention is required in order to encourage the registered voters to then go and cast their ballots. Hence, we started this campaign, which we said is the Remember Me campaign. Why is it the Remember Me campaign? It's because we are remembering those stalwarts of our trust and of our country that have worked so much to get us to vote 30 years ago. And yet, having worked so much and having sacrificed so much, some of them were tortured, some of them were killed, some of them are still maimed and are unable to work. Yet, having worked so much, we are moving away from that right which they managed to get for us to vote. And this is worrisome, especially among the young people. And this campaign also is focused on the young people who seem to have a disconnectedness to the politics of the day and to the way the country is being governed.
And ma'am, I was actually going to come to that, to the issue around young people in this country, and we continue to see the numbers decline after elections when it comes to young people who have exercised their vote, and that's always the problem. The IEC talks about getting more young people to go out and cast their ballot. Why do you think that, it seems as if, there is this discontentment and disconnection for young people to go out and vote, and hence why your campaign is seemingly focusing on reaching out to young people?
Young people have aspirations. They want to work. They want to be active citizens in the country, yet they are highly disillusioned. There is a belief that there is apathy among young people, and it has been shown that, research has shown that it's not apathy as such, but they're disillusioned with some of their leaders, some of the behaviors of their leaders, the corruption, the lack of services or poor service delivery, and other issues of unemployment. They are just disillusioned, and they have disconnected from the politics of the day. And unfortunately, many of our leaders have also disconnected from society. And young people have lost trust in how their leaders have behaved, in how their leaders have led the country. And it's not only at national level, it's at provincial and it's local level, it's in the churches, it's everywhere. There seems to be a leadership problem in the country. And young people are looking up to us. And if we behave in a certain fashion and do not live up to expectations, young people are very quick to disconnect. And that is the problem that has been found. And what we are doing now is to go back to young people and say, there is hope if we participate in how the country is being run. And that participation starts with voting. Voting for people that are going to represent you, voting for people that you believe understand your needs, and people that you have been interacting with and strongly believe that they can represent you. That is why we are targeting young people.
Yeah.
And we believe that this is not necessarily apathy, but it is disillusionment because of the lack of trust.
And Mankone, how will you ensure, as hashtag Remember Me, that this campaign that you are running will actually appeal to young people and encourage them to go out and vote on the 29th of May?
We are working with a number of partners, the KZN Council of Christian Council, and other partners as well who are well networked throughout the country. And we are going to use social media platforms that we know young people are active on. And we hope, actually we not hope, but we are going to try by all means to reach all the 54 districts in the country, and to reach out on social media, on print media, on community radio stations, and send our representatives out there to go and find these young people, invite them to roundtable discussions, invite them to, and also invite the political parties to our roundtable discussions to come and explain to citizens what their manifestos are about. You know, when parties share their manifestos in their rallies, citizens never have an opportunity to actually engage them and ask them about what they mean, what they want to do, and all their activities. We want to have these roundtable discussions, town hall discussions, where political parties are going to be invited, and people will have an opportunity to ask questions and to be answered, and to demand answers and to demand explanations around the manifestos. We hope to go, hopefully invite all the parties that are going to be participating in this election, so that they can be asked questions, they can explain themselves, not just to, the speeches that are made during manifestos launches, but to really engage with the citizens. And this is where we hope our young people will then participate and go and ask these difficult questions that they sometimes have never been answered on, or have never been asked.
And Mankone, why is it so important for us to reflect and to appeal to South Africans, to remind them that how important it is to actually exercise this right, and, obviously drawing from the likes of the struggle stalwarts such as Beyers, Naudé, as well as Desmond Tutu, and, what it was in the past that a number of people were not afforded this right. Why is it so important to encourage and remind South Africans about this duty that they have?
Civic duty or citizen responsibility, it involves people participating in how they want to be governed. And that starts with voting, making sure that you send representatives of your choice, representatives who understand your problems and your challenges. And it is important that people choose representatives of their choice, rather than sitting back and then complaining later. It has been shown around the world that countries where people have given up on voting are countries that generally deteriorate into violence, generally deteriorate into rioting, when people do not have an avenue to express their needs, to express their challenges, and to express the pains that they suffer. Then, because they don't vote, they don't have representatives of the choice, then they resort to violence and rioting. So it is important for South Africa to really arrest this decline in voter participation. This decline has to be arrested because the consequences are dire. We have seen in many countries on the African continent and elsewhere where people have given up on voting. They give up on voting for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's because voting is not free and fair. Sometimes it's because they vote and their voted candidates do not live up to expectations. So we encourage people to vote so that they can hold politicians to account.
Yeah.
And remember, citizen participation is not just about voting. It goes beyond voting. Because after having chosen the leaders of your choice, then people have to take responsibility to participate in all the activities that the representatives are designing for us. They cannot plan alone. They cannot execute alone. Citizens have to participate in those plannings and in those actions that ultimately lead to service delivery.
All right. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. That is Mankone Ntsaba. She is the chairperson of the Kagiso Trust, and also they're talking to us about that campaign that they are, of course, talking about and continuing to steer on to encourage South Africans, and particularly young South Africans, to go out in their numbers and vote on the 29th of May. To this now, residents of Matibidi near Graskop under the Taba